You're watching E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do our review for Walking Dead. Last night's episode, I do apologize for those who were waiting for it. However, I did have an assignment for work doing a training video, and I wanted to get that done for Monday morning. But we are here. And what an episode. A lot of things kind of really being planted. We see the W again on another zombie. I want to start there because this has been going on for a couple of weeks now. And I really haven't discussed it because I kind of have a very good feeling of what it is. And I don't want to give away comic spoilers. But if this is a group I think it is, I think that's going to take us into the season finale. And we're going to see some things manifest. I think it's going to be an opportunity for Rick and the group to really prove to the people of Alexandria that it's not all fun and games. I mean, yeah, it's great that they're there and they have housing and they have walls, but sooner or later, something is bound to happen and they're not prepared. They're not experienced like Rick's group. So I have a feeling that's where that's going to go. I don't want to get into spoilers with the comic book. I know I've kind of slipped up many times in the past without warning, so I want to take that into account. But if you want to know who they are, you just simply got to look it up. I mean, but again, it's no guarantee. We really don't know yet. But I have a very strong feeling I know who it is. And I don't mean Negan and any of that. But this episode, very interesting. You know, you see this group is continuing to struggle to adapt back to a somewhat of a normal life. You can't say completely normal. It's a zombie apocalypse, which is not normal. Sasha seems to be the one that's having the hardest time acclimating herself back to some sort of society. And they've all suffered from some sort of post-traumatic stress syndrome. You know, the only one that really seems to be kind of, I don't want to say mellow, but he doesn't seem like he's having a lot of side effects from being out in the environment to now being, behind the walls, is Daryl. And I think part of that is because he hasn't accepted what's behind the walls. He's still an outdoor hunt, this kind of thing. But we see in this episode, he seems to be opening up just a little bit to the idea. And with Daryl, with him, it's all about respect. If you're not strong, if you need people more than you can take care of yourself, he's not going to really kind of respect you unless it's somebody he's close to, like Beth. Beth was not able to take care of herself when her and Daryl were running together. But because they spent a lot of time together and they're friends and whatever, obviously he's going to sell out for Beth. With this group, he doesn't give two shits. But he seems to respect Aaron. And it's amazing how much they are alike considering they're so different. You know, Aaron is clean cut, presents himself very well. Obviously, he's homosexual. Where Daryl, being the tough, rugged guy, you know, just from complete opposite worlds, and yet they seem to have some sort of an understanding of each other. And I thought that was really cool that, you know, you see Daryl at least trying, and towards the end of the show, he was willing to go as far as say, you know what, I don't need the gun. You want to give these guys a chance, let's do it. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm sure the motorcycle helped. So, Rick, Rick and this girl, they seem to have something brewing. And I'm sure as a married woman, she's probably a little hesitant. But we can easily tell that her and her husband do not have the greatest relationship in the world. At the party, she offered to get the drinks. He said, no, I got it. He was very rude about it. And, you know, Rick, to me, while he may not be admitting it to anybody else, even to the show, I think it's kind of obvious that despite what he said at the end of last week's episode about we'll take the town if they're not strong enough, I think he's still a little conflicted. There was a shot of him looking at Carl, and Carl seems to be having a good time at the party talking to the other kids. And then he had that moment with her son, which was kind of touching. You know, you hadn't seen Rick be like that in a while. And he's like, oh, you know, I know this, the cookie maker, and I can put in a special order. You know, he hasn't been like that in a while with anybody, not even his own kid, let alone a stranger. So I think Rick is having some conflictions himself, but he's not dumb. I mean, he told Deana, look, we got issues here. You know, we need a lookout. We need this. We need that. And Deana seems very hesitant because I think as a politician, and this is the problem with having a politician in the zombie apocalypse, she doesn't want people to worry. She doesn't want any kind of chaos or people feeling like they have something to worry about. She wants to keep the peace, but she needs to realize there is no peace in this world. You know, it's only a matter of time before anybody or anyone finds Alexandria and is going to try and take what they have. And Rick said it, and he was right. They're lucky that Rick and his group are there. So a lot of interesting developments because you have a town full of people from two different worlds. You know, a lot of these people in Alexandria have been there for a while. They had to do very little fighting against zombies. And when you really think about it, fighting against zombies is not that difficult unless you're facing a horde. They haven't dealt with other people. People like Rick's group. People who can possibly, you know, take what you have and run amok in your town and kill you. They have not faced that. And they're lucky that Rick and his group are still on the cusp of good. But that's another question. Are they? We look at what Carol did to that little boy and oh my Lord. I mean, Carol's badass. And let me tell you, she is just cerebral. I mean, she is probably one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous person in the group. I mean, can you imagine threatening a little kid? Granted, she needed to do it. She needs to keep what they're doing a secret. But I mean, I'm sure she could have found other ways to convince him to keep his mouth shut than threaten to kill him. So that was incredible. When I saw that scene, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, wow, they're really getting real because, you know, they're showing certain signs that Rick and his group have the potential to completely turn around on Alexandria and just waste them all and take it. And they would be more than capable of defending that, you know, that whole little community. But they're not quite there yet. I don't think that's, you know, there's still plenty of people in Rick's group that still have humanity. Glenn, Maggie, you know, so even Daryl, I think to a certain extent, still has some sort of humanity in him. He just seems kind of like right now he's feeling things out, but he doesn't look like he's out to really kind of gut anybody. It's like Aaron said, he can tell good people from bad people. So, you know, it's just interesting to see each character and how they're handling this new change, this new transition. And I think, like I said before, the worst one is Sasha. I really think Sasha might be the next to go. I think something's going to happen where she just can't take it. And, you know, you look back, she lost her brother. She lost Bob. You know, when you really sit back and think about it, she really has nothing else to live for. And it really depends how she feels about the group. We don't really know that. You know, we don't really know how she feels about Maggie or how she feels about Rick or whatever. You know, she just doesn't seem to have anyone in the group that she's tight-knit with. Even one time exchanging with Abraham a couple of weeks ago in an episode, telling him, you're not my friend. So if she doesn't feel like she has any allies, not that she has enemies, but if she doesn't feel like she has any allies in the group, and she looks back and her brother's dead, and Bob is dead, and she can't even handle trying to be back in society with other people, and she's yearning for blood or yearning for her own blood to be spilt, I don't know. To me, that smells like a sign for just a breakdown of some sort that's going to cost her life, and maybe somebody else's. You know, maybe she goes postal. But it's going to be interesting to see her development over the next couple of episodes. We only have a couple left, and I got to tell you, it's really, you know, I know there's people out there. You know, one thing about Walking Dead is you have one extreme or the other. You have the people who love the story, this and that, and you know, if the zombie action is there, fine. If not, fine. Then you have the other extreme where there's people that just want the zombie action. And I know the people who want the zombie action just do not like these last couple of episodes. But I gotta say, I really think they're establishing not only some of the characters individually, and we're seeing them in a different light because of what they're in, but they're also getting to a point where in the comics, things are really getting deep. It's really a good story. It's not about the zombies at this point, and it really isn't. It's about other people. The zombies are in the background, and that's how it should be. I thought the horse scene was very interesting, and that's the second time we've seen a horse eaten on the show. Poor Buttons. You know, and it was sad. It was sad. You know, I gotta admit, when I saw the horse run into the field and then the walkers ganged up on him and then dragged him down, I was like, oh, that's too bad. And, you know, it's an animal, but I gotta also give credit to the trainer and the horse for actually pulling that off. I mean, how often does a horse let a bunch of people just drag him down to the floor? So that was actually very good. So production-wise, I like that a lot. That was very cool. Just a really good episode that's continuing to set up a lot of things. We got to see a little bit more of what's going on with some of these people in the group, in Rick's group, and how they're handling things. You know, Rick seems to be on the cusp. Obviously, Sasha is probably the worse off. Daryl seems to be coming around. Carol is just cerebral right now. She's not going to stop doing what she's doing until she's 100% sure that herself and everybody in the group are safe. She's probably the greatest asset the group has right now. Glenn and Maggie seem to be sliding right in, no problem. So it's interesting how everybody, you see them so differently now, because when they're out on the road, they were all very similar. They were fighting to survive. Now you get to see just who was affected the most while being out that long. And I tell you, it was very good. It was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. But anyway, guys, that's it for this review. We're obviously going to talk more Walking Dead, as episodes progress. And I'm excited. I do like the second half. It's been real good from a story standpoint. I've completely forgotten about those last 5 episodes in the first half of the season that seemed to me be more Beth oriented. But this is really good. This is good stuff, and I'm enjoying it. And we'll see what happens next. It's going to be big. Wolves. The wolves are out there. Anyway, guys, this is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news. We just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit E.T.N's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.